Hey everyone, it's Carlos from Hybrid Records. Welcome to or welcome back to the channel. So I'm here to show you some records and to talk about some records. I don't know what you want from me. This is, another video that I'm doing from my phone because it has been yet another hectic week, busy week. Didn't have time to do it properly with the decent camera and the good audio and all that kind of stuff. But as you know, there was supposed to be a tropical storm hitting. Really lost a lot of time doing that. So I'm recording this on Wednesday, and I'm currently in the midst of a pricing marathon to get all of this stuff ready to go out on Friday. But I'm gonna show you some records from the collection that we recently acquired in the Valley, and by recently I mean like a month ago. If you've watched my last two videos, you know that we bought this largest collection from our buddy Isaac. Shouts out Isaac, thank you very much for thinking of us for this. And yeah, we put out some more modern stuff, like post 2010 stuff, mostly the first round, and then we did all the classic and psych and other rock related things 2 weeks ago. And so now we're back with basically the last of the collection. And this is going to be all of the soul, the jazz, the country, folk kind of stuff, a little bit of that, not a whole lot, Spanish stuff, things like that. So this is the last of it, as per usual. Also, if anybody has any ideas on how to spell the word "usual," that abbreviation, a spelling of it that I could text somebody as per usual, and they would immediately know what I was talking about based on the phonetic spelling. One of the great questions that plagues me on a regular basis. Anyway, I digress. As always, this is going to go out on Friday, so that's Friday, September 17th, 2021. And yeah, it's going to go out in the store at 11 a.m. It'll be on the website at 7 p.m. when we close. So if you can't make it in, or you're out of town, whatever, you can check it out there. Also, important news, the Record Store Day Black Friday list has been made public. Nowadays, it wasn't always the case when I started doing this. It used to be we would get the list as a store first, have to fill out and submit our orders, finalize our orders, and then the public would get the list, and we would hear all about the titles that we didn't realize people wanted, that we didn't order, that people are now asking us about. So thankfully that is not the case anymore. You all get the list at the same time that we do. So what that means is that if there's some stuff that you really want, some things that you need, you can tell us, and we can make sure that we order what we think are going to be enough copies, and hopefully we get all of those copies of those particular releases. Obviously we're going to be getting like a bunch of the Billie Eilish and the Dio and the Motorhead and the Life Aquatic soundtrack, and some more obvious stuff like that. But any more deep cut stuff, like there's Stubbs the Zombie soundtrack, I think is a thing. Never heard of it before. Had a lot of people asking about it. So that's very helpful for us that we can provide the best Record Store Day experience possible. So very much appreciate it if you drop a comment on this video and say what you're most looking forward to from Record Store Day or from this batch of stuff. Also, I guess I'm supposed to tell you that you need to like this video and then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you get a notification whenever we post new videos. I very seldom do that, but I guess here I am remembering to tell you that. So hopefully one day we can monetize this channel, because that would be sick if that happened. Probably won't, but it's okay. It's not why we do this. Here's some records. So first batch of stuff, or the first chunk of stuff, is the soul stuff, my favorite stuff. Here we go. Mono copy of My Kind of Blues, Sam Cooke. I don't think this is technically a private press record, but it's a smaller press record, and it's from 1976, so disco era, not quite boogie yet, but not corny disco either. This is Funk Band Incorporated, Funk Band Inc. This is not the name of the record, but features highlighting some songs that are on it. Jamaica Lady and Dancing Fool, Dance Floor Bops. Isley Brothers. Brothers. Brother. Not plural, sorry. It's backwards, the way that I'm looking at it. Anyway, you don't need to know this stuff. One we don't see very often, Aretha Franklin, Spirit in the Dark. This is an early repressing, like a second pressing. So not quite as expensive as the first pressings are. So that means affordable copy of that if that's something you've been looking for. This is one that I'm struggling with. I'm not going to keep it, but that doesn't mean I'm not struggling with wanting to keep it. So that's that on that. First pressing, Curtis Mayfield. Look at that sweet center label right there. Ooh, beautiful. Private press, gospel, very funk soul, or some more soul-oriented gospel. Texas-based, The Voices of the Mainland. We've got some Stevie Wonder action coming your way. Talking book with the Braille cover. Killer stuff. Talking book. Another copy, we had one of these recently, but Songs in the Key of Life. Does not have the 7-inch, but does have the booklet. So that is pretty sick. If you watched the Summer of Soul documentary that Questlove did, probably saw this man in that video, and he kind of mentioned his going solo. This is a German pressing of David Ruffin's solo album, My Whole World Ended. This is a bop, banger. It's a banger. Why am I saying bop? I don't say that word very often. And so this is going to transition us into the jazz, because I guess it technically falls under the soul jazz. But there are quite a few Nina Simone records. This is probably the biggest one of them all. Also the most expensive, but this is Nina Simone's Pastel Blues on Philips. This is the stereo. A little cover staining, but what can you do? Disc plays real nice. Cleaned it on the Okie Dokie. Listened to it yesterday. Amazing record. There's like 4 or 5 Nina Simone records, first or early pressings on all of them. Another one I want to keep, but I won't. It's Monk's Time. 2i, Thelonious Monk. Here's a Japanese pressing of Impressions. John Coltrane. Haven't listened to that one yet, but I'm sure it's a nice and quiet record that sounds good, as most of the Japanese pressings do. A classic. I kept one record by this artist recently from one of the drops that we did, but not keeping this one. Bill Evans. At the Montreux Jazz Festival, there's a few Bill Evans records. George Ben. This is a Brazilian pressing of this record, so that's pretty sick. Cannonball Adderley. This is a first pressing, I believe. And so that is all of the jazz stuff. So there's definitely more jazz stuff. There's more Thelonious Monk. An original jazz classics pressing of one of his albums, and then some other odds and ends here and there. But now moving over to the country stuff. I'm going to show you this one because I already have a copy of it, so there is no threat of me taking this home with me. John Prine's first record. This is an early reissue. It's got the 5 number, catalog number. You can't really see it there, but it's SD 19156. So not the first pressing, but still an early pressing. Nice copy. I actually sold this to Isaac during quarantine, during lockdown, and here it has come back to me. There's some early pre-Outlaw Willie stuff in there. Not the first. Ooh, this one's sealed. Wow. Ooh, spicy. I knew it was in the shrink. Didn't think it was sealed. Anyway, a couple of those earlier ones. Some of the Outlaw stuff in there as well. Jerry Jeff Walker. This is a 1980 reissue on Bainbridge Records. But yeah, classic. If you haven't, check out Circus Maximus, early Jerry Jeff Walker on guitar in that band. One of my favorites right here from Merle Haggard, Mama Tried. Great song, killer slide intro that is as iconic as they come. And now here is arguably the most underrated voice in country music, I think. Especially this album and the album that followed it. This is Bobby Gentry, the Delta Suite. This is actually a club pressing, manufactured under license, but it is pristine. You really don't see this one that often, so that's definitely, I mean, I can't wait to listen to this later, actually. I have a copy of it that is not nearly as in good a shape as this one, but I'm not going to switch them out. I'm going to sell you the better copy, because that's what we do. This is a record I never heard of, but it is really good. I listened to it yesterday. This is Rob Galbraith, I think is how you say it, Nashville Dirt. It's one of those records that kind of like is equal parts country, blues, and soul at the same time. I mean, it's definitely a country record, but it has a lot of blues influence, and it gets a little soulful at times. All right, here's another classic. I've really, really been vibing Nancy Sinatra lately. Been listening to that compilation that Light in the Attic did a bunch. Recently picked up some of her other records. I don't have this one actually, but I'll probably wait for the Light in the Attic reissue, which is forthcoming, I have been told. But yeah, anyway, Nancy and Lee. I mean, it's such a freaking good record. Summer Wine, Some Velvet Morning, I mean, those are the kind of marquee tracks from this record, but the whole thing is great. There's a lot of sealed country stuff too. I mean, obviously I showed that Willie Nelson, which I did not know was sealed until this very moment, but there's also like several sealed Tammy Wynette records and a couple of other female country vocalist records that are sealed. And so now, I guess this is actually probably my favorite stuff. The stuff that's most exciting to me, at least, for a lot of different reasons. We're going to get into the Spanish stuff, and before we do that, we'll do some Chicano stuff that is not in Spanish, such as the absolutely iconic Sonny Ozuna, Sonny and the Sunliners, the album Talk to Me. Man, he's got it in a MoFi sleeve. Look at that. Love to see it. I mean, Talk to Me. So good. Anyway, freaking amazing record. And then also, this one I've never seen before. I have the first one, which I didn't realize was the first one. I didn't know there were 2 volumes of this until we acquired this collection. But first of all, look at the drip. Look at the drip. I mean, come on. This is Yesterday and Sunny Volume 2. Volume 1 is an incredible compilation, so I'm really excited to listen to this one. This one's on key lock. Actually, a lot of these songs I don't think I've ever heard him do, so I'm very excited to listen to that. All right, now the proper Spanish stuff. More Teardrop. This one I've never had before. This is Roy Montalongo, you know, the iconic Teardrop label right there. I mean, this one's a winner right here for sure. It looks like this guy put his name on stuff. That's interesting, because it looks like it's part of the print. You see what I'm talking about? That looks like it's part of the actual jacket, but it's just the guy's name. El Maz. Yeah. Killer stuff. Anyway. This one I have never heard of, nor have I ever seen, but I think it's funny. This is Big Lou y los Muchachos, a drunk friend. Okay, Go Ahead Head instrumental, Mambo Rock. That's cool. And there's another rock instrumental, Cantaloupe Island. Definitely got to hear those. On the Buena Suerte label, Little Joe's label. Another one that I'm not super familiar with, but there's probably 5 or so of their records. Los Yaqui. And then here we have something that is not like the others that was supposed to be earlier in the video, but this is Garth Brooks' first record. Oh man, that's my bad. That is my bad. But yeah, from the previous country parts of the video, there's that. Oops. But now you've seen it. Latin Lovers. This is a compilation that has Jimmy Edward, Latin Breed, Royal Jesters, Tortilla Factory. Actually, I'm keeping this. Sorry, but it has Cookin' on it, and so I'm keeping it. I do not have the Tortilla Factory record that has that song. So now I have this one. I'm the boss and make the rules. Very sorry about it. Hate to show you stuff that you can't have, but I still haven't gone through and like properly cleaned and priced all these yet. So especially with the Spanish stuff that I have not really even touched, I'm kind of discovering it with you. And so with that comes some hiccups. You hate to see it, but alas, here we are. This is a funny one. I almost want to keep it just for the cover, but I'm not going to. It has a song called La Cumbia Panda on it, which is sick. But yeah, Joe Bravo, classic, super swaggy right there. There's the back cover, cool one. I think this almost looks like it says Los Struck, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to read. But never seen this record before, but it looks very psychedelic, the cover, which I find captivating. Okay. Tell me how to pronounce that. STRWCK? Don't know what that means. It does have at least 2 rock songs on it and a soul song. So hopefully those rock songs are a little psychedelic, because this is really doing it for me right here. If I was in a record store and I saw this and it was reasonably priced, sight unseen, I'm buying this, personally. This is a classic one. We've had this one before, but it's definitely... I mean, as far as Cumbia goes, some of it is as good as it gets. This is Rio Tovar. Yeah, just bangers. This is another one I've never seen. I've seen, I've had a good amount of Little Joe and the Latinaires. I've had Little Joe y La Familia. Even just La Familia. But this is just Johnny Hernandez on his own. He's got an amazing mustache, and the hair is he's really pulling it off. And I gotta find a shirt that has that on it. That's a nice polo right there. Lovely cover on Hometown Heroes, Freddie Records. Speaking of Little Joe, this is an amazing cover. Not a song, not a record that I've heard before, but it does have a song called "Recognize Me" on it that I hope is a soul banger. Recorded at Freddie Records, Corpus Christi, Texas, baby, 1977. You'd love to see it. There's a couple of these, not of this specific record, but of this artist. I just decided to show this one, but Latin Breed, classic. Absolutely classic stuff on GCP. And there's probably 8 or 9 of this guy's records. Isaac really loves Steve Jordan. Esteban Jordan, there's quite a few of his. This one's also on Freddie. Maybe we'll get a Freddie collab one day and reissue some of this stuff with them. Be cool. Freddie Records, reach out to me. But yeah, so that's all the stuff that I have to show. In classic fashion, I talked much longer than I had ever wanted to or anticipated, and it's another long video, but you got to see some good stuff, and hopefully you come in, say what's up, buy some records. New Charlie Crockett coming out this week, excited about that. New SZA 10-inch coming out this week, excited about that. Getting a restock of Honeymoon by Beach Bunny. Yeah, I think that's about it for Hybrid Records related content. Look forward to seeing y'all. Hopefully I'll be adding some of this to your collection. There's some classics in here that you definitely need if you don't already have. But until next time, I will catch y'all later.